Okay, it is 7 o'clock and we currently have 34 people on. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me tonight. I apologize for being so late in the evening time. I typically would never do in Townhall this late, but we've been in convention meetings all week and they wanted us to cover this information before the weekend, and tomorrow we have more convention, and it's my wife's anniversary, 27 years with our family's birthday there. And then we have Halloween, of course. So I didn't want to get into your weekend much. So thank you for spending a little bit of time with me and being able, thank you. Thank you for the congrats. Spending a little bit of time with me. And this week has been awesome with convention, learning about all the new great things that Block has put out there for us has just been incredible. There's so many things that they are doing to try and help improve our systems, whether it's small business, whether it's check-in processes. We've got some video screens that are going to be available in the office to video chat with clients. Just so many phenomenal things that I'm excited to be able to bring forward to you during during our skills training. But tonight, it is about sharing with you about our test program that our region has been asked to do. And I've muted everybody and I've started recording so that we can share this message back with our teams that is not able to be with us tonight. Let me see how many are on here. Looks like we've got 40 people on. Not sure if Ron is going to make it, but he stated he would like to try to be on each one of these. But let's go ahead and get started, and let me share with you a little bit about what this program is. Hopefully you can see my screen. We will get going here. Tonight we are asked to speak to you about a pilot that there is in the company. And there are actually three pilots. We are part of three different pilots, three regions, the complete regions. We have multiple districts in our region, and we are going to be doing a pilot that basically is measuring creating human connections with customers virtually. And you'll hear a lot about Block Horizon 2025. And that is basically our behaviors and our mission purposes put together with our ambitions, imperatives, enablers. It's what we want to try to accomplish as we look in the horizon on 2025. And essentially around the Block experience, that's what this pilot focuses on. It focuses on reimagine our experience for customers and tax pros in a digital first world by blending technology and data with human expertise and care. And if you look at this document, it's kind of fuzzy, kind of like a horizon, right? You know, but with this model, we want to make sure that we have a little bit of a plan and a focus for our team around what we're trying to pilot. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and play a video for you around it to kind of explain it a little bit. Those that are on the telephone will not be able to see the prompts and the things coming up, but I'll talk about it right after.
Thank you for calling H&R Block, located on Main Street. My name is Dion. Can I get your first and last name, please?
Yeah, hi, Dion. My name is Andrew Ritterling.
Awesome. Have you used H&R Block services before?
You know, I have. It's probably been 3 or 4 years since I've been in.
Okay, well, welcome back. How may I help you today?
Well, I just remembered that I need to file my taxes, so I figured I'd give you a call and get that done.
Well, you've called the right place. Would you like to come into the office or file from the comfort of your own home?
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that that was an option. Can you tell me more about that?
I sure can. We have a digital drop-off service. What I would need from you is your email address. That way I can send you the link that will let you know day of the week works better for you.
Well, normally Tuesdays or Thursdays They're best for me.
Okay. On Tuesday, I have a 9 a.m. and a 4 o'clock p.m. Which one of those times work best for you?
Let me check here. I sure hope this doesn't take longer than 15 minutes. I gotta get home and beat the traffic.
Hi, Andrew. This is Dion from HR Block. Is this a good time for you?
Hi, Dion. Yeah, it is a good time.
Awesome. Just want to let you know before we get started, it should only take us about 15 minutes to kind of go over the document that you had an opportunity to upload in the system for me. So thank you so much for getting that done for me today.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was actually really easy.
By any chance, Andrew, do you expect to get a refund this year?
Last year I got about $2,000, so I think I should get about that amount this year.
What expectations would you have as far as getting your return back?
Well, I'd just like it to be done accurately and obviously fairly quickly so I can move on with my life.
If there are any other questions that I need from you or any other additional information, we can definitely communicate using this portal here or uploading your documents through the MyBlock app that you set up already, okay? Andrew, I would like to go ahead and set up that follow-up appointment, so once I get the tax return done, we can go ahead and review it. Would you like to come into the office, or would you like to stay in the comfort of your home or do another video?
I would love to do, the video chat works out nicely, so that would be a great option.
Awesome, so I'm gonna go ahead and see what time, what day or time of the week works better for you.
Oh, it's been so slow. Like, I've been 15 hours, I haven't had any.
What do you mean? I have been busy all week.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I've been doing returns every day, and I just don't have any downtime. That reminds me, I haven't even checked today. Maybe there's some returns due pull down.
I guess I'm gonna make some calls.
Oh, look, there's 3 new ones.
Good news, Andrew. You were expecting a $2,000 refund, and today our expert here at H&R Block was able to find you $2,800.
Wow, I'm getting that much back? That's great.
So what's going to happen from here today, Andrew? I'm going to go ahead and review the tax return with you over the phone right now. Can you see my screen okay? Awesome. Once we review the return, we're going to talk about those additional products and services that we have to offer here at H&R Block.
So how do I sign the return?
There, I'm going to send you the links to review the return, and you will be able to approve it right from the comfort of your home as before using our Approve Online service. If you have any additional questions, use our secure messaging if you need anything else. Is there any question you have now?
Well, this was really easy. A lot easier than I expected, to be honest.
Thank you so much. I look forward to finishing that, wrapping this up for you. Have a wonderful day.
Okay. So I like that video, except for the part where she's gloating with that gentleman. Oh, look, 3 new clients. I thought that was kind of funny. But basically, this video is not far-fetched. There wasn't anything on it that we can't accomplish this year. You heard words like client care agent. You saw things like a 15-minute intake appointment. You saw video chat, which we're going to have capability for this coming tax season. You heard about a fulfillment tax pro. And then you heard about a 15-minute wrap-up appointment with a client care agent. So what we're not being asked to do this year is test new software. We're just being asked to use current tactics that we already have in play. And I would say that, it asks on this slide, are you comfortable with all the tools used in this video? Can you walk through a digital drop-off today? Can you walk me through Approve Online? Could you send me a link to a MyBlock account? These are all things that we readily should be able to do and should be comfortable with doing. But I think that we really didn't get a lot of time doing it. And as we got into a COVID environment, it would have been really, really helpful. We had approve online options all year, and we used it less than 1% as our market. When California shut down, they were doing 100% of their returns approve online, and we got up to about 20%. And so I know there were offices that were even in the 40 and 50% approve online. And so having that convenience and that option for the client as we move into this new unforged territory this next tax season is going to be important. So whether or not you are a part of this program through the client care agent or through a fulfillment manager, you may just be a tax pro, and you may just be a CSP or an office leader still. That's fine too, but we should be comfortable with the tools as we use these tools. Those of you that are just joining, we are recording this, and I've got everybody muted. We'll have a time at the end that we'll be able to answer some questions and talk more about the program. What are we being asked to do? Basically, use the tools that we have to serve clients and find the most effective ways to serve them virtually. I think we can all agree that it's much improved. There's going to be a much improved function this year around a to-do list that the client will be able to have sent to them, and they'll understand what documents they need to upload and have, and it's going to help us with conversion. But I think we can all agree it's easier to convert at the desk and not have to have the client come back 3-4 times. It's easier when they have a MyBlock account and they can upload documents. We know not all of our clients are going to be able to do this, and that's fine, but there is an increasing need to be able to use the technology that we have, and that's what we're being asked to do. This program is not going to be, we are not testing for the future, basically. It's not going to be the program that's going to be rolled out. We are testing elements. Like I said, there's 3 different programs. What we're testing here is not going to be used the second year. It's just being tested 1 year. We are one of 3 teams, and there are 3 different variations and ways to serve clients. We're going to be asked to provide a lot of robust feedback on what we like about it, what our clients like about it. And we're trying to be asked to find a perfect solution by 2025 that really helps merge our technology and what our clients' needs are, especially within the growing segment virtual and do it yourself. To measure success of this program that we're going to have with client care managers and fulfillment managers, in pods of 3. So basically what it'll be is there'll be a client care manager with every MTL pod. So the TL offices, Park City and Magna, will not be impacted by this. However, all the pods, the MTL offices, the rest of the offices, in groups of 3, you will have 1 client care agent and you will have 3 fulfillment managers. And how they're going to measure the success of this is 20% of the clients, they want them to be served with some sort of virtual tool, 4% increase in service quality, and 5% increase in tax professional productivity. So your place in the pilot, you could apply to be a client care advisor. You could apply to be a fulfillment tax pro. You can just stay where you're at as a tax pro role or a CSP or a leader if you've already job coded in those and you're comfortable with those roles and don't want to take on a new role. You're welcome to do that. We definitely are going to keep having the regular tax pros that we have. But a client care advisor, let's kind of walk through what a good client care advisor is. Basically, they're going to maintain a relationship with a client for follow-up conversion. And these are going to be new clients and orphaned clients in the pod of 3. So it won't be all new clients. There's definitely clients still that will ask to see Terry Furlong or Robin or whoever their tax pro is. And they're going to be referred still online to you. So there'll still be new clients coming to tax pros, but in an office, there's a lot of orphan clients. We closed 6 offices at one time, and we thought that we could retain better than what we did, and we ended up losing about 40% of those clients. And so whenever you lose a tax pro, we mean well in an office. We want to be able to take those clients and be able to have a relationship with them and get them back in the office, but we typically lose 30 to 40% of those client bases. And it just happens. Peak gets going, and as tax pros you get busy, and as office leaders and CSPs you get busy, and so that there's a need out there, and I'm super excited to be able to have someone that can maintain a relationship with those clients and get them to come in and upload documents and be able to have their return fulfilled. They will conduct small intake and wrap-up appointments, 15 to 20 minutes. They will have a desire to serve clients remotely, so they'll be able to use virtual tools that we have. They'll have a deep understanding of systems. They'll provide good excellent customer service, be a good communicator, both verbally and written, and they will have needed to have had TS20 HRB Tax Pro experience. So let's go into a video interview with a client care advisor.
So Dion, you attended a job fair. You saw this role where you do the intake of a client into this new pilot, and you decided to apply. What about the intake tax professional position appeals to you?
So one of the first things that appealed to me was being able to be the face of H&R Block. The first person that the client would talk to and interact with before getting their taxes done. It allows me the opportunity to gather their documents for them to make sure my fulfillment tax pros are able to complete the most accurate return that needed. Being able to utilize those organizational skills, and the DGM also mentioned having great communication, which I thought was valuable, something that I feel I excel in very well. In addition to that, being able to virtually serve the clients, seeing them video chat and things of that nature, it's just a great way to partner with them, and they only have to interact with me in the whole process. So that's just one of the things I like utilizing my customer service skills.
Okay. With that, I wanted to go through the compensation real quick. There's been a couple people that said they can't see the video, so I apologize if it's not coming through on your screens. I'm not sure. There are multiple people that can see it, and so I hope as the video has it that you'll be able to see these videos, but I'll also be able to upload them and share them later as well, so you'll be able to view them if you'd like. The client care advisor compensation is basically, since they're a tax pro, they have an 80% base rate. This just like it would be as a regular tax pro, but they'll have an individual incentives paid out biweekly. So for a client care advisor, you'll have about $2 per return going through this fulfillment. It'll be paid out biweekly, starting in the first week of February, and they're expected to be able to deal with about 600 clients spread out between the 3 offices. So it's about $1,200 in that incentive. And then there's a team incentive that if the tax productivity metric is met at 100%, they could earn $2,000. So that is the client care compensation that's going to be put out there for this role. Now, the fulfillment tax pro. The fulfillment tax pro has the ability to complete tax prep quickly and accurately. They're going to be a level 4 certification. They have a desire to prepare more returns. They're going to be a team player, and they have capacity to prepare more in the office. So if you're maxed out at 900 clients, this is probably not the role for you. If you have capacity to do more with your productivity hours, then it could be a very good role for you. You will not have, they're going to have to like to be able to just do returns and not necessarily be able to communicate with the client. So if you like the numbers and you like the return side without actually having a lot of interaction with your client, then the fulfillment tax pro position is actually going to be a good position. Let's watch a video on this one as well.
So Christy, you attended a recruiting town hall for the new pilot. After hearing it, you were most interested in the fulfillment tax professional role. What was it about the fulfillment tax professional role that excited you?
Well, the D team was really excited about this, and he wanted a tax pro that wanted to do more returns, and that was exactly me. I was available to do more returns, and he needed somebody that was a certification level 4 or above. And I'm a master level tax pro and even enrolled agent. And he wanted a great team player that could trust the intake tax pro. And I was just really excited after hearing him speak. Team was really excited about.
Okay, so the compensation for the fulfillment tax pro is based upon their 80% rate that they have set for their base pay that they currently already have. And then it goes along with the biweekly as well incentive, and it's based upon the certification level. So at a high end on an enrolled agent, it's 4.5% of the revenue, and that is the revenue stream of all revenue streams, so tax return and emerald cards, all the add-ons as well, down to 1%. The lower 3 levels we are not participating in. It's for the other two regions. We are just level 4, 5, and 6. So 2.5% to 4.5% is the revenue spread that is paid out bi-weekly. And then at the end of the season, there is a $4 incentive if you're 100% plus on each return that was fulfilled through the system. So the expectation is that each fulfillment tax pro will have about an additional 200 to 250 returns added to their current tax base. The MTL, ATL, how do they play a part in this? So they're obviously going to still maintain relationships with clients, follow-up conversations, still be involved in holds. They're going to lead teams through the changes. They're going to schedule the client care advisor during hours to serve the most clients that they can. They're going to maintain awareness of the fulfillment tax pro and how those returns are being divvied out. They're going to be well versed in the pilot details. Basically, you can't lead something if you don't know it. There will be an incentive for the team leaders as well. So on top of the normal STI that they have, there will be a flat dollar amount for a team incentive. If the team hits the goals, the MTLs will get an additional $750, team leaders $500, and ATLs $400. And this will be paid out at the end of the tax season. So what's asked of the IPP tax pros? Support the pilot every way that we can. We know that you as tax pros also want to save those clients that are orphaned. And you also know there's an opportunity for us to grow in the space of virtual, but you'll still get your new clients referred to you. So I want to make sure that you understand that it's not just a way of taking away new clients from you as tax pros, but there is definitely a need as we look at conversion rate going down, as we look at service quality scores, not really there for our new clients. Usually we have a 10-point spread or more between prior clients and new clients because they're just not feeling the love. They don't feel like they're getting the quality of care. So we're seeing when that happens, there's typically not a huge retention rate in the second and third years when you have some of those service scores. So the pilot will help address this and be able to bring those scores back up, as well as be able to help with those orphan clients. The IPP for the tax pros won't change. It'll be on the current compensation plan that's been sent out, that's being presented for this year for you as tax pros. So if you are not a fulfillment tax pro and you're an IPP tax pro, then everything will stay the same as far as your payout and STI. The CSPs, what are they going to do? They're going to have some additional responsibility because there's only going to be one client care advisor across 3 offices. So these CSPs are going to have to know basically how to set these appointments across the pod. They're going to have to know how to upload documents. They're going to have to know who's eligible for the pilot, who's not. They're going to have to ensure the digital drop-off is used correctly for these clients. So there is some additional training for CSPs that will happen during skills that will be needed as well. So everybody will be playing a part in this. Basically, which role is it that you want? We were sent some data to look at on who would be good recommended client care advisors. They're people that have high service quality scores, high approve online, high MyBlock. They're retentive to brand and same TP, and they have virtual interests listed on the application. So when you turned in your application, there was a opportunity for us to say, are you interested in virtual? So those responses were recorded and basically put into the system on whether or not you wanted to have an opportunity to do virtual. The Fulfillment Tax Pro will be a high certification level, at least a 4 and up, high approve online, MyBlock, retention to brand. They'll be able to, have some interest to work from anywhere. So as a tax pro, they'll be able to want to work from home and have the work from anywhere interest. Virtual tax pro interest, low POM claims, and good service quality scores as well. Some of the timeline, we're having the town halls right now between the 28th to the 30th. There's going to be invite links sent out for those jobs to tax pros to apply. Will be emailed out to you if you show an interest, or if you're in the recommendation section, you'll get an email much like you did for the extended tax pro season and for this season that says, hey, we're applying for it. It's a really quick turnaround because the applications are to be in at 11/2 and ready to serve starts on 11/9. So part 1 ready to serve for this program, and others starts on 11/9. So you can see why there's a need to get CE done. There's a lot of ready to serve new skill stuff coming out that needs to be taught and learned in November and December. 11/16, we're going to move the recs. So basically the 9th through the 16th will be moving all the recs to interest to hire by 5 o'clock. We'll have decisions made by 11/23, and then the pilot materials will be available on 11/30 for this program. On 12/2, the DGM will add the preseason code back into those selected for this that will be still working Emerald Advance or so forth. And then ready to serve part 2 training begins on 12/7. And then from 12/7 to 12/31, the expectation of skills and ready to serve will be to get completed from 12/7 to 12/31. So the next steps, you're going to receive an invite. There's a quick return, limited seats. Like I said, there'll be availability for basically 7. We have 7 pods, so 7, and then we have 21. So we'll have 28 positions available, 7 client care advisors, and the rest fulfillment tax pros. Thoughts in addition to this program, basically, we've been pushing a lot on continuing education. I understand that. There is, the question was asked, can you do both? The answer would be no, you have to choose one or the other. But the client care is a separate full-time position, as well as the fulfillment manager. So good question. But we've been pushing really hard on getting continuing education done by the end of this month. I'm going to be sitting in Midville office at 8 a.m. on Saturday, waiting for people to come in and help with CE and get CE completed, because, and it's the day after my anniversary. But I'm doing it because it's vitally important that we try to get our CE done before November. All the skills training that's going to be dropping, the paid training that you'll have, we need to focus on and get it done. There's just too many gaps in the ability for you as tax pros to understand how to do digital drop-offs. And it's important that we focus in on that training and that we're able to be able to serve the clients with all the new changes that we have. It will drive productivity for you as tax pros to know how to do it. It will be able to allow the client to not have to come back in multiple times. So it's going to allow conversion to go up, and there's a definite need for us to focus in on virtual coursework with our skills training. We also are going to learn more about our imperative and small business certification. I've been sending that out to level 3s and above. You'll be able to have a small business certification icon put on your calendar, your appointment manager. There'll be some training around that, and it's actually called Block Advisor Small Business Certification. And the reason is there's a suite of products that will be available to you as tax pros that are small business certified, that are only available right now currently to Block Advisors offices. And so as we complete those, there'll be options that we'll be able to offer our clients that we normally would not be able to do unless you're small business certified. So the goal is to have at least one per office, but we have 93 people that are level 3s and up. So I'm sending out the emails to you with the 3 courses that will be required: small business COVID-19, due diligence, and tax update for small business 2021. Make sure that you will be able to take the right one, because there is a tax season update 2021, but it is the 1 level credit. So each one of these is 1 credit, so it's 3 credits. During the skills training, there'll be a passport for small business certification. It'll be 4.5 hours. 3 of those will be these trainings. The other will be a case study that you'll need to complete to be able to complete your small business certification. Super, super important as an imperative. But we got to be comfortable with change. We need this. We need to be focused in on this. I know we need to be positive about it. There's so much negative already around certain things with the district as far as clients and so forth. And I tell you, there's plenty of room to grow with the technology that we have. If we learn how to use it correctly, you'll be able to grow your client base positively, and then we'll be able to focus in on these orphan clients and client retention and be able to see the district grow. We've had some negative numbers for the past few years, and we've got a lot of great things going this year. We haven't closed any offices. We've had 1 forced relocation, that is 43805. We're only going to move it a few blocks down the road on 4100 in Redwood. It's going to have tons of parking. It'll be a nice new office to be able to serve clients there. And we have no office closures this year. So the following year, no office closures. The region has 10 offices closing. We have 0. So we've got some great opportunity to grow client bases and offices without having anybody leaving. We've got a large percentage. We're over 80+% of tax pros returning this year. Most of you are super, super positive. I know there's a few concerns with COVID, but you'll be super excited to see the shields that we've got in place, to see the amount of safety that we've got in place in the office. We know that that's not 100% going to take care of everything for people. We know there'll be some work from home options for a lot of people, and I'm going to be sending out those emails soon so that you can get your systems up and going and make sure that you're qualified to do that work from home. So I'm super excited to see how you guys lead that, and as you move forward with the district. So with that being said, we've got we're to the point now where we're basically going to open it up for a little bit with questions. So you'll need to unmute yourself if you want to talk. If not, you can type in a question in the chat function and I'll answer it as quick as I can. Loyette says she's interested in work from home option. Great. Loyette, we'll make sure that we send out the surveys to everybody. I just want to explain a little bit about work from home. Work from home is not a true function of you never come into the office. Essentially, the work from home option still wants you to be able to come in a little bit to the offices. We know there'll be a couple of cases where people have said, I can't do that or I can't come in. But for the most part, you will need to come in a little bit to be able to touch base with some of the leaders that are in there. I understand, Christy, with your concern for higher level courses earlier than October and November. I will run that up the chain. I think there's a reason why the higher levels take longer. They take longer to produce for them and to get the latest and greatest information for those courses. And it's usually why they release in November. But I just want to share a conversation that Eponine had with a tax pro. And I really need your guys' help. Okay, I don't ask for a lot as district manager, but your ability to complete your CE is something that you're required to do by November, the end of November. And I understand that you have until the end of November. But I have a lot of people, so Eponine had reached out and asked because we wanted to do some courses, we wanted to do some other skills training to help you guys understand Workbench, to help you understand scanning documents, to help you understand digital drop-offs. All those things have to be taught. And I just realized there was such a lack of understanding around those things that we needed to be able to have some virtual courses and to be able to make sure people were comfortable with using Work Center and the new enhancements to that. And to do that on top of the skills training, on top of the small business certification, we really needed the October classes to be done. And so as Eponine's reaching out, there's a tax professional that said, hey, basically don't bug me. I do learn up and I have till November. I've got courses in November and I need to, I need to stay on that. That's fine. We're not asking you to change your learn up. Continue to take the course in November. We're asking you to complete your CE. If you look at the courses that are available in the system, there's over 1,200 classes. There are plenty of COVID-19 classes that that you need the information on. There's all kinds of COVID stuff. There's some information that you can get done by October and still take your classes and learn. And you might say to me, well, Scott, that doesn't seem fair. I don't get paid to do my CE in November, so you're making me take additional CE. Well, I'm asking you to be ready to serve clients by October. And in return for that, every year in January, a lot of you take CE. And a lot of you are on the clock getting paid to do that. So you kind of get reimbursed for that time as you think about doing some of your CE in November or some of the times, in January or some of the times in March as you prepare. And so bear with us as we ask for that. Please help us be able to accomplish that. I know some of you won't be able to get it done, but we have a goal of trying to get it done by October 31st. And so I'm really asking that you try to take care of that. So back to the questions on making sure on taking care of this client care agent and fulfillment manager. Does anyone that has been unmuted have any questions around that? Eponine's got one here. Will the client care associate and the fulfillment tax pro be able to work from home options? Yes, they will. They have the opportunity to work from home and complete returns. And as I look through the hours, it just looks like there's going to be a need to be able to work full-time hours. Brenda said how many hours per week are expected from the Fulfillment Tax Pro. It's going to vary, but they're expecting you to do about 250 returns, Brenda. So it's going to be pretty much around the full-time hours that are going to be needed from there for that Fulfillment Tax Pro. You will be fulfilling for just that office that you're in, because there'll be 3 fulfillment managers. So that will be the need. Obviously, Amber brought up the point that the workload around peak is going to increase. Chad asked, isn't IPP percent return incentive higher than the Fulfillment Tax Pro of 2.5%? So Chad, what you have to calculate in, Chad is an internal hire, so welcome Chad. What you have to calculate in is IPP. When you take your salary base, every return you're doing, you're pulling your salary out of it. With this program, your base salary is not coming out of anything. There's no draw. So it's straight revenue pull on top of your hourly amount that you that you'll be getting. So that's that. When you calculate the 4.5%, I looked at, I sent you out some slides that Ron was able to provide for us that kind of broke down the incentive a little bit, and that's probably what you're referring to, so that you can look at it. I looked at a really high tax pro that was producing $200,000 in revenue for us, and it came out to about $13,000 in incentives paid out biweekly, another $3,000 in the bonus, and then that was on top of a $35 an hour tax pro wage for this certain tax pro that we were looking at. So it comes out, it could come out to a little bit more than IPP for a fulfillment manager. So good question.
Scott,
Yes.
since they're changing and going so much digitally, are they willing to add a scanner to each office? So the only, you know how the only scanner sits with the backup server? Will the CSP area have a scanner?
So good question. At this time, we're not quite aware of where the scanner will be, but I am aware of the fact that it takes a little bit of time to warm up the scanner and so forth. I do know that our CSPs will be asked to help gather documents more. There'll be more training around that. So at this point, I can't really answer where the scanner will be. I know there's, privacy issues.
Well, I think they should add another one.
Well, that is a possibility. We've got a few extra scanners, but at this point, the company isn't really looking at it, because I can tell you, Sarah, we're not currently using it to its potential right now anyway. And as they're adding in the new video chat monitors, there's a huge cost to be able to do that. So there's budgets aligned with that. So at this point, my concern more as a district manager is getting better access to it, making sure it's active and quicker and easier for you guys as well as CSPs to get to. So I do understand your concern with that. So
awesome. So it'll be accessible to everyone, and we're not interrupting anyone.
Yeah, I totally understand.
Okay. Perfect. No, I'll watch for emails and I'll be quiet now.
Hey, there's no bad questions at all.
Well, you know how I am.
And I do think, to this point, somebody brought up the clients will be uploading more from home that they get scanned, and there'll be easier ways as we get, another thing we need to focus on more as tax professionals is getting those MyBlock accounts activated. It's the central hub to everything. And there is, the cell phones are such a quick way to capture with the MyBlock app their documents and be able to upload them. If you've ever used it, it is pretty much amazing. And so clients will be helping a lot more as well. So that will cut down on the need for scanning equipment. But what other questions? Great questions. Ron's getting in there doing some work on the chat function. Ron, do you have anything you want to say to the group? put him to sleep. He's muted. He's probably watching football at the same time he's doing it.
Scott, there's been some questions in here about due diligence as well with the client care advisor. Can you answer those?
So I just know that the MyBlock, the consent, there's enhancements to MyBlock where they'll be able to do the consent form with the to-do list. So digitally, they'll be able to sign that before they even come in, before they're able to even have the appointment. So that will be addressed at that time. So systematically, they'll be able to do it before they even, as they have the intake conversation. Is there another question?
Scott, this is Margarine.
Hi, Marjorie.
In the past, Approve Online, they could not have our fees taken out of their return. Is it still that way? That
No,
they have to
Marjorie.
pay upfront?
No, they've been able to fix that, and you can now do refund transfers through Approve Online. And it's very fast, very quick, very easy. You just have to take a picture. They have to take a picture of them holding their license and then take a picture of their license and upload. And they'll be able to go from there.
Okay, thank you.
And as far as EIC due diligence questions, I don't know the answer fully on that, but I'm assuming Blockworks will be able to take that into account, and they've been able to work that into the system. I'll reach out to Blockworks teams and verify how that works. Yeah, it's going to be awesome, Loyette. I'm super excited. My son was able at the end of the season, he's like, Dad, I haven't, he came back and it's like, I haven't filed my taxes. And he had 2 years and he wanted a stimulus. So he's living away from home. So I hooked him up with one of you great tax pros. They loaded up the documents, sent them in to him within 30 minutes. The appointment was completed. Email was sent back. Fees were taken out. In fact, he got more money back than I got, and he got a stimulus. So it was pretty awesome. The questions asked, which position can primarily work from home? Both or all three, actually. There is not a requirement on how many tax pros I can have working from home. The system used to have a requirement like it couldn't handle the workload, but they've enhanced and fixed that. And so there's not amount of limits of people that can work from home. And as far as fulfillment, both of those positions can actually do it. One may be easier than another, but you'd be able to do both of those. So you guys are going to be so excited to see some of the changes with the to-do list, and the clients are going to be coming in better prepared. You're not going to have to set as many appointments to get them to come back in. Super, super exciting stuff. So the question is, since the client care agent isn't the returns preparer, how can he or she give specific tax advice to the client, or how can the tax pro's advice get to the client? So good question. I'm assuming that's why they want the client care agent to be able to have tax pro knowledge, to be able to go through the return with them and answer questions. There's still going to be opportunity for fulfillment tax pros to kind of be able to click a need of documents that they need to fulfill, but the relationship will be with that client care manager. They're going to be answering questions, and if they have questions that they can't specifically answer, they'll have to get back with them. But one of the questions asked was, what happens in this test program if someone goes and becomes a client care manager, because they don't write tax returns, and as far as their clients go, they're going to be sending them to a fulfillment manager, but they're going to be they're going to work directly with the fulfillment TP, to Ron's point, and they're going to be able to still have the relationship with those clients that were their clients. So in the next year, those clients will just directly assume back to the to that client care agent. So Katrina asked a question, can the Fulfillment Tax Pro communicate directly with the client at all? There is an option in MyBlock that allows you to request things that you need from them, but the relationship will be the client care manager, and they'll be working directly with that client. So you'll be working tandem to be able to enhance the experience. To Ron's point, basically the office staffing with tax pros is going to be, you know, the first thing that we're looking at, but there's also work from home anywhere or work from anywhere options. What other questions we got? Can you apply for both? Yes, you can. And definitely there's recommendation. I have a big list of recommended people, and there's multiple tax pros that have both options checked as far as recommended.
With Magna being on and not part of it, is that going to help the tax pros out there wanting to be working at home?
You know, Marjorie, there's still we typically look at the ability to do digital or drop off, or you know, there's 4 different ways of reaching out to the client. In Magna, you're still going to have those ways. Just because you're a TL office, you're not going to not be able to do things digitally and virtually. You still have all the great virtual options that we have in all offices. And so you'll be able to have work from home options from Magna. You'll be able to virtually take care of clients. You just wouldn't be a part of this program as far as fulfillment.
Okay.
So with those that were, if they became fulfillment agents, would they still be able to serve prior clients of theirs?
So yes, but those clients would go through the client care manager. So,
okay.
But they would be able to serve their clients. So to Ron's point, basically the Fulfillment Tax Pro is just working through the returns that are downloading from the client care manager, and they're processing them. Their clients will be involved in that, right? Because if you're a fulfillment manager, Fulfillment Tax Pro, and you had, let's say you had 150 clients, those clients would then become orphan clients that go through the client care manager, and then you fulfill the tax return. So the prior year after this test, you would still get those clients back. It would just be, your payment would be different. So you'd have to look at that sheet that I sent you to be able to calculate out what your payment would be, but you would still be, in a lot of cases, you'd still come out on top. And yes, we will have tax pros that do TP review returns. So we will have some virtual tax pro options, as well as internal field agents and as well.
Happy anniversary to you and your wife. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Scott, I have a question.
Yes, Amber.
To Katrina's question, it sounds like we're having to give up our relationship with our priors. So do they not get to keep their prior clients?
No, they will be, as fulfillment managers, they will be working on just fulfilling the tax returns. And so so it
would be the other one that they would be able to keep their clients. Because the only way you lose, so what I thought I understood was this was only to orphaned and new clients. That would be like everyone else would keep their book of business, correct?
So basically, as a fulfillment manager though, Amber, you're going to be fulfilling, essentially you're going to be fulfilling the orphaned and new clients, right? So
they would keep their relationship ones, the ones that they've built their relationships with, they keep those.
No, Amber, no.
No.
Sorry.
How it would work is if I was a tax pro and served 150 clients last year and I became a fulfillment tax pro this year, those 150 clients I'd still do their return, but the client care advisor would maintain the relationship for me, but I would do the return on the backside.
And would the client know that you did the return?
The client doesn't know who does the return in this program. No.
Okay.
Is there a way to let the client know?
No, that's not the intent of this program. The intent is that we would have one client care advisor, not manager, advisor, that would be the face of H&R Block for that client. That's why most of what they will be serving will be the most of what they'll be serving would be the new and orphaned. Now, if a client that was your prior basically said, hey, look, I need to talk to my tax pro, and they were your prior, yes, there would be ways to allow that, but you only get paid for that client if they come through the client care advisor.
So if they come through the client care advisor and they are persistent to see their previous tax pro, that client care advisor person can make that connection?
Yes.
Okay, who is speaking?
That's Ron.
Okay, thanks.
So to that point, as well as referred clients and people walking in, if a new client walked in an office and said, hey, I've got a W-2 here and I just need to be served right now, and they didn't want to go through this process, they would be routed to a desk and taken care of. But for the most part, the new clients and these orphan clients would go through the client care agent. It's a laser focus approach that is much needed in the offices with these orphan clients. I could tell you, like I said before, we closed 6 offices and we lost in some cases over 40% of those clients. And we meant well. All the offices are like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're gung ho. We're going to stay on top of these clients. And then peak hits and we lose focus and we have all heck breaking loose in the office and we lose those clients. And so with this laser focus of a client care agent and fulfillment managers in 3 different offices, we're going to be able to take those clients back and be able to give them the focus and care that they need. And then they're going to continue to want to return to H&R Block. And as a client care agent, if you're concerned about, well, I gave up some of my clients for this job, you're still maintaining that relationship with them, and you're still able to be able to take those clients back on the next year. So with that being said, any other questions?
Was there a slide that showed the ideal candidate for this? Like, do I,
yes,
not me, but do I fall into this parameter, like the
yes,
requirement, the necessary? Okay, so that might, is that what was that you shared on the email that you sent previous to this?
No, I was able to basically share with, I'm going to share this whole video content with everybody. So it'll be recorded and shipped back out. And we're going to have one other one as well. And so there'll be plenty of opportunity for people to review the information and data and look at it to see if it's a good fit. Christy's asking, is there a chart showing the path of one of these clients take with who they work with and who does the return work on the return? I don't know, Christy. I will take that question, and I don't know that there is one, but there's still a lot of training that we're going to be taking on this that's coming out, and so I'll get you that answer as quick as we can. Tam says flowchart time. All right, Robin, friends and family, I'm assuming that stays the same and you can still use friends and family, except the client care agent does not do returns. So that's a good question as well when it comes to your friends and family and the price of that return. So I will take that. You guys are full of good questions. Any other
Scott.
questions? Yes.
Yeah, Scott. So if you're a fulfillment tax pro, you can't go from being a fulfillment tax pro to a regular tax pro. And if your friends and family can't figure out the client care thing, how do we keep from losing them?
Yeah, that's one of the questions I'll have to take and ask. I'm not quite sure, Terry, on how the friends and family works for the fulfillment manager. I'm assuming that they've got a way that that's figured out. You would still probably use your friends and family, take care of those clients. You just wouldn't be paid for them through the program because they weren't going through the client care, but it's your friends and family. So I'm assuming that that's still available. I have not heard anything about friends and family being taken away from fulfillment managers. But to your point, also the client care agent, since they're not doing returns, we would have to find out how their friends and family would work and what that looks like for them. So I'll get back to you guys on that.
Okay. So also though, fulfillment tax pro can't be regular tax pro too, like switch back and forth, right?
So correct.
Okay.
So they're asked to be, hey, my clients are going to be orphaned. They're not really orphaned because they're taking care of the return. So they're just getting paid a different way. They get paid when it goes through the client care agent. Then it comes back, they do the return, they fulfill it. I'm assuming on the documents, they'll be able to see which tax pro completed it on your client's documents. It's going to have your P10 and information on there. But if it goes through the client care agent, then you'll get paid for it. Correct, Katrina. Fulfillment tax pros do not interact with the client. They're just doing returns. And this is pretty common in a lot of offices that put laser focus on quantitative returns, and then on having the client care manager be focused on the relationship and the information that they want. It's really interesting. You guys don't get to see a lot of the back end of phone calls that I take from people that are upset on the service calls, but 90% of them that are upset are people that feel like, hey, I was just a number, and there was no, conversation really had around this. It was, how can they get me in and get me out as fast as they can? And so I love the fact of the client care agent and the ability of what they can do to help us with client retention. Remember, we're trying to figure out what the best way of doing this is for the company. And obviously, we want to make sure you're getting paid. And obviously, we want to make sure that your clients are returned to you as the program adjusts the next year. But it's a big step for our company. The reason they've asked you to adopt this is because you guys have shown that you're able to approve online and adopt some of the programs that we had last year. Our service quality scores were good, and there were a lot of good things that they saw in our market, and that's why they chose our region to be able to go in and take care of this. So it's a compliment to you and the work that you do with your clients day in and day out. And I think that it's a step in the right direction as far as client retention and what we can do for orphan clients. So any other questions? Ron, did you have anything else? If you're still on, do you have anything else you want to say to the group before we wrap up? He's bouncing between 2 or 3 of these, so he may have stepped back out. Guys, I appreciate your time. We're past a little bit past an hour. To Susie's comment, it may not be a good fit for everyone, but I'll be having some individual conversations with a lot of you over the next little bit of time. I did want to just make a comment. A few weeks ago, it was brought to my attention that Sandra Sayers had passed away in our market. And for those of you that may not have known Sandra, she worked in our downtown office and had for many, many years. had a lot of clients that just loved her to death. She was such a sweet lady. And so I'm very sad to announce her passing to the team. Obviously with COVID, there wasn't able to be, a regular funeral. But our condolences to her family as well. But, I just can't say enough about the work that you guys do day in and day out. And so excited to be able to test a program that I think will have potential effects for the company in the future and how we do things. Things have to change, right? It's just if we don't change, we get left behind. And in the digital world that we live in, it's super important to be able to look at how we can still maintain relationships. You're still going to have relationships with your clients. There'll be plenty of tax pros and plenty of clients in offices. The intent is not to take away anything from anybody, but to enhance and provide a digital option that there will be a lot of tax pros that will want to take part in this and be able to expand their client base a lot. And the part in the video where the tax pro walked up and he's like, "I can't believe you're so busy." That happens in our office all the time. And there's tax pros that are just swamped and loaded with people. And then there's those that are like, "What? I can't get a return." And so the opportunity to fill those non-productive hours with some of these orphan clients and fit the needs of some of those tax pros is super important for us within our market. And I think it's going to be a fantastic thing. So thank you for your time, guys. And I hope you have a fabulous evening. Thank you so much.